Okay, we're live.
We are live.
And we're trying this. It's raining a little bit. So
I don't think it's enough to wipe us out. The internet's looking good in here. It's not dropping. So we'll see what happens as people start joining and telling us how it's looking. So
maybe nobody will join us because nobody will like us.
Everybody likes us. Well, not everybody. We have a few people who question our sanity.
No, besides our children.
Besides our children. Yeah, that's true. They know us too well.
It's been a tough day. So, anyway, we're here.
What's been tough about this day?
Money, money, money. Did you know that it costs to have animals? Because animals like to eat. Hello, Laura. She comes on early from California every time. That's cool. Mm-hmm. Or at least last time.
Animals do like to eat.
I know. So do we, though, by the way.
Yeah, it's interesting how that works. So. Well, we're waiting for other folks to join, so we'll
just talk because
we'll talk a little bit while we wait.
So we are getting ready. We have ordered our broilers, and we've gone in with two other people. And
two other people have gone in with us. We kind of instigated this project.
And on the 8th, we're having a build the chicken tractor day. Merle from Holland. Welcome. And Jeff from Charlotte.
We're in our community building efforts, reaching out to few. We didn't contact very many people, just some folks that we knew were interested. And it's all been positive. For what I meant was like, yeah, let's get going. The other one had to think about it.
Because it's shell shock.
Then only wanted to do 10. And then as we talked about it a little bit more, the reason they didn't want to do more than 10 is they didn't know if they had freezer space. And we said, we're going to have some extra freezer space. This is make it 25. So we have two families doing 25 each. And then we're doing a total of 50, although 20
of it we're bartering. We
who is that?
Paid someone who did the bush hog for our field, and that's why we're paying them. So anyway, the phone just rang for him. But anyhow, we're buying, because we found a feed through Peterson's, we're buying it in bulk, which means you come up with this very large amount of money to begin with. And it's a little scary doing that, especially when you're involving other people and saying this part's yours, this part's yours. And so that's the goal, is to definitely figure out some way to grow our own. And we're just thinking, we have a pond, let's grow fish for them. We don't know, but that would be cool anyway if we can do that. It is a lot of chickens. We raised 90 ourselves, though, in Oregon. And so there'll be 100 chickens, and there'll be 4 different chicken tractors and 25 in each chicken tractor. So they will be very humanely raised as they are moved daily on our pasture once they're 3 weeks old. So, anyway, so I'm curious, our friend from Holland here, do you have a farm or do you raise any animals? So we almost didn't do this today because of the rain. We have had rain almost the entire day, and such a blessing. Some people are saying they're still in a drought. I know we're still in a drought, basically, but at least we have green grass, and it's very nice for that. Hello.
Hi.
Nice of you to
That was an important call. Sorry, it had to be taken. We got it taken care of. It's good stuff.
Okay.
There was confusion, and it's cleared up now.
Okay. With work?
Insurance.
Oh. Yeah. You want to hear a funny story? We'll tell you a funny story. So it's time for us to renew our insurance.
Our life insurance.
Of course, you don't do that because it's then way too much. So we're just getting a different life insurance policy, because we got them long time ago.
Long enough ago that they're at the end of their life.
And so we got solicited like crazy when we bought our house to get mortgage coverage insurance and stuff. Well, finally we answered one of them and says, come and at least talk to us about it. Well, it ended up just being life insurance.
Yeah.
And it was, it was like, yeah, we really do need to redo our life insurance. So we went to do it and we thought, well, this is silly. So we set up everything for the physical and it was scheduled for tomorrow. And we thought, well, this is silly. Let's check with the companies that we're with.
Why
We've
change?
been with them for 18 years, let's do something here. So we talked to them and their rates were lower. So we called the first one back, canceled that one. And these people set the appointment up for today. Well, we live in a small town.
Wait a minute. You've got the story kind of twisted around. Our current insurance company set it up for today.
Correct.
The new one set it up for tomorrow.
Correct.
We're in a small town.
So we had canceled tomorrow's.
And the visit today didn't happen.
They didn't come. We're fasting, getting your blood drawn, fasting. You have to go to the bathroom when they come. So we're like drinking and not peeing.
So she called the insurance company that had arranged, and now their story has changed. No, they're coming tomorrow. And it was the same name of the person who's going to be visiting us for the other company. So we realized there's only one healthcare company apparently that does it in this area. So it was the same one doing it for both. Go ahead.
So you just got the call. So I called him back. I said, he goes, so yeah, they say that you're tomorrow, not today. And I'm like, no, we were today, not tomorrow. Bottom line is same company. So I called him back and left a voice message saying, this company that's coming tomorrow, are they bringing the old paperwork from the old insurance company or from your insurance company?
They were bringing both. She was going to do two physicals.
Anyway.
Dumb.
Okay. So a friend from Holland. I have chickens and I grow a lot of fruits and veggies. Very good. Jeff wants to know if we ferment the feed. Yes. And that is what's going to make it last longer.
Yes.
Jim.
Oh, it is. Absolutely.
Absolutely, because I know Justin Rhodes just did it, and he's saving 25%.
Oh, I'm sure. Which
means with
the pasturing that they're doing, combining with the fermenting, is going to help a lot. We've been frustrated because
we couldn't ferment
of what we've been able to source doesn't ferment. It just mushies and it gets sour.
The stuff we're going to get is a whole grain, except they're going to crack the corn. So I forgot we will do that savings. Let's go back to the smaller amount. We'll be able to save it and not charge.
True.
Much.
True.
Hello, Renee. Hello, Brenda. I can watch this instead of doing dishes.
There you go. Anytime.
Like me, I put my computer in there and do both at the same time. Well,
overachiever. Quit bragging.
We had a scary 24 hours.
Upsetting. For sure.
We were digging into a wall that we needed to get into, and we found all of this really bad looking stuff. And as we started taking out, we were both wearing masks, but as we started taking it out, we just saw all this stuff sifting out, and it didn't look like something normal, and we're just like, oh my word, we're probably dealing with asbestos here. So we shut up the door and walked away. And we're like, we're in trouble.
Well, our house is built in 3 different pieces, and one of the pieces is built during the time frame that asbestos was used, and the materials are potentially, they could be asbestos. So we were concerned about that.
Plus it was stuff I've never seen before.
Yeah, it was different looking stuff.
So we called today, a company, and they returned my call, and he said, well, he says, describe it. So I started describing it, and he said, well, this is what it costs. It costs $35 for each layer of each item that has to be tested. So he described this would be a layer, and this would be a layer, and this would be a layer, and he described like 5 different layers. I'm like, going, okay. And he says, and then it's $100 on top of that, and then you have to pay for the report too. And I said, oh my, that's a lot of money. And he said, well, No, and he said, and I am actually in Kansas City on my way back down to Springfield, so I could pick up the samples for you. And then I said, he told me the whole prices, and I said, that's a lot of money. And he goes, or I could just swing by your house and look at it myself for free and tell you what I think. We're like, oh my goodness, yes, could you do that? So we're going to show you, hopefully, this, I left the light on in there. So this is our wall that we've taken down, and this is stuff, and then there's insulation back down in here. This is kind of, I don't know, and then show them this. So our wall is already about an inch thinner because it was built clear out in here, and we still got this to take out. So I think
it's walls on walls.
Walls on walls on walls. I think we're going to gain about 2 or 3 inches in this room when we're done. Anyway, that's the room. So that's our laundry room, by the way. So he came in to look at it, and he said, well, that insulation is fiberglass. And we're like, oh, really? Okay, good. And he says, and this board right here is just a cardboard base. Oh, okay. And he goes, your problem will be your plaster. And so he reaches.
A lot of lath and plaster.
We've got lath and plaster everywhere. So he reached in and pulled out some of the plaster. And this was the most incredible epiphany. He said, oh, yep, you're good. He said, yours is made with horsehair. Horsehair. And he showed us the fibers in it. So our home was built in the 1940s. And in the 1950s and 60s and 70s, they replaced the horsehair with asbestos. Okay. And so all 3 of those things were good. And I said, now we do have the little 9-inch tile way under several layers on the floor. And he goes, well, that definitely is asbestos. But he said, we've tested it and tested it and tested it and broke it all up, and there's nothing that comes bad from it. So guess what? We thought we were going to have to spend a ton of money. I'm going to turn this because the light. A ton of money, and we don't have to spend anything. So we went from, when he walked out the door, we just kind of went, oh.
One of the reasons that we want to redo the walls in the laundry room is we're told that during the winter, they have to put heaters in there to keep the pipes from freezing because there's not a lot of insulation. Well, the walls have had insulation there, but it's not very good insulation. And so, we're just looking at making the improvements that will help us insulate it, keep it warmer better. What we're also seeing, if you look really close, you notice that some of the wood looks pretty ratty. So
if you look really close, you can see the siding on the outside.
There's been some insect involvement there. So some of the studs are going to have to be replaced. So it's good. It's good that we're doing it. It's, we're doing this house piece by piece.
We are going to take each room, I think, and take it down to the studs. So.
Yes.
Okay, let me catch up on this.
So a lot of
hello,
work.
Hello, Rob. Hello, Bonnie.
In the end, it's going to be very worthwhile. We're going to have, there's not going to be guesswork about what's behind that wall. We're going to know what's there. We're going to be comfortable with it. We're going to be happy with it. Plus, we're going to help our utility bill a lot by having things being insulated and sealed much better.
Right. And no, just to remove a wall to gain inches is not a good reason to even tamper with insulation, or with asbestos or anything. We weren't doing it to gain room. We're doing it to get rid of the insects, the mold, put in better insulation, and just have it be clean. So we're just doing small areas at a time.
One of the reasons that I initially walked away from the house because I knew how big a project it was. And so, we understand what we're getting into, and yes, we're in over our heads, but we're living life, and life is over our heads. So we're taking it as it comes.
And Laura, they do sell asbestos kits. We looked at some. They're $10 through Walmart. And then you get the kit, you dress up in all of the stuff, you take it off and you put it in bags, and then you send it in, and the test costs $40. So that we were going to do, but this guy was super nice and came by.
Definitely a company we'll recommend.
Absolutely. He already had 5 stars on all of his, from all of his
they do a great job. I mean, people love them, and if they're all that way, I can see why. It was good. Yeah.
So, how's the floor situation? Oh, well, we'll make a video about that this week.
We have a plan, and
it's not as bad.
Yeah.
In some ways, it's only a small area that we have to do.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot better. We've looked at it. We think we understand what's going on. We've had to think about it some, look at it some more. Before we dig into it, we want to be 100% comfortable with the end result that we're going to be able to get out of it. And at this point, I think we're pretty close to moving forward and doing the tear up and the replacement and so on and so forth. So. See this light here shining? Yeah. I can turn off the light. Kind of trying to go like that, but then I've got this one. Where did the picture go? You are so funny. Okay. I'm really psyched about what we've done with the pigs as far as the paddocks. Got that finished up last night. We showed it. We showed that. I'm just bragging. About I mean, it's working well. The pigs are enjoying it. The chickens are having a great time. Lots of bugs. They have access to. I'm going to change it around.
Okay, we got something at the door today.
Yes, we did.
Should I tell the whole story?
No, just the important parts.
Okay. Our son,
one of our sons,
has arranged with me to go to Utah in December and take care of his children while he and his wife take a trip to Peru.
So how many of your sons live in Utah?
1.
Okay. It must be the son that lives in Utah.
And that's fine. That's great. We're going to do it. I'm going to do it. You're going to stay here and mind the store. And he called me up this week and said, I really am grateful that you're coming in December, but I have the opportunity to take my wife somewhere else in November, and I wonder if you come. And I'm like, it's time to negotiate. I told him something we've needed several times, and he goes, and I'll give that to you. He ordered it yesterday. It came today. We haven't even opened it because it just barely came. But we now own a chainsaw. So we can get our firewood ready and cut down some branches and everything. We've
had excited. People offer to lend us theirs, and that's great. Really appreciate that from our friends. But borrowing's never comfortable. So having our own is going to be a lot better. So we're excited. That way we can use it whenever we want. If I break it, it's mine.
Yep. Bonnie wants to know the name of the company that did this. And you know what? If you'll just let him entertain you, I'll tell you in 2 minutes.
Entertain like song and dance? So I've never really ran a chainsaw much. I know when I was like a young teenager, my family, we harvested fence posts. We were in Southwest Colorado. There were some, we call them cedar trees. They weren't. They were I rented a little bit there, really an axe more than anything else. So I'm familiar a little bit, but it's been a lot of years. So it's going to be a bit of learning for me. But this isn't a monster.
I think we'll order the leg things.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
It's Sunbelt International out of Springfield. So they do all kinds of environmental.
They're international, but so is it part of the Sunbelt Corporation? We don't know.
I don't know. Okay. Environmental. Sunbelt in Springfield. Good. Oh, our dog's outside.
He's right there.
Good negotiation. Yes, it was.
Yeah. So we're excited. Definitely one thing that we have a lot of down timber and a lot of dead trees. So between needing to do the cleanup and needing firewood for the winter, it's a great combination. We're going to have a huge stack of wood that's, for the most part, already dried and ready to be used for fire.
You didn't read Brenda's thing. She told you to exercise along for entertainment.
Funny. Yeah, very funny.
Okay.
Anyway, that was a good news thing.
It was.
Really excited.
We're very excited about it. And we are going to set up the same setup that Living Traditions has set up with their pallets in the back, all along the back.
Yes, great idea. Very easy construction to do.
And then we'll just put tops on them to kind of keep them. So
yes.
We were going to build this really elaborate thing, and we're like, no, I like what they did. It was easy. So they took 2 pallets side by side. And we did last year, we did one pallet with a middle and then one pallet, one pallet. They do 2 pallets and then the sides, and then 2 pallets the sides, 2 pallets the sides.
Oh, and we actually
have a source.
Believe we have a source that has these 8-foot pallets. So they're 8 by 4, which would be perfect. So set one of those down and a normal 4-foot one up to stack up against. So if we can get a hold of those, then we'll be using those really. So
Bonnie says to get Kevlar chaps.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we just said. We were going to get them the thing for the legs. I just didn't know what they were called.
Got to be protected.
For kickback protection with that chainsaw, and keep a trauma kit with a tourniquet on. Yeah.
You plan for the worst and hope for the best.
Very good, though. No, my daughter works in the ER, and she sees a lot of chainsaw accidents. They scare me to death. They really do. I mean, when people take them, just go down like that, and then their legs right there. So this is probably the safest man I have ever seen in my life. I've never seen him.
Not to say I haven't done some dumb things.
I know. But I think you'll do everything you're supposed to.
I never had a broken bone. I think I got my finger broke once.
Really?
Playing basketball with the boys when they were big. It just kind of broke it.
When who was big?
When Jeremiah was home from college.
Oh, your sons.
Yeah, our sons. Okay. I think it was the last time I played basketball.
Okay, guys, we're running out of stuff.
So what else did you have? We hadn't even got to the meat of what we're going to do today, right?
What's the meat?
I don't know.
It was asbestos.
Oh, okay. Meat is asbestos. And we're glad we don't have it.
And we are... probably our biggest problem that we have is maybe what some of your problems are. It's our finances. We're fine to live our life normal, but with all of the other little things that we add in here, then it makes it crunchy. And so
we're starting from scratch essentially. And if we hadn't brought so much material from Oregon with us, we'd be a lot more limited on what we can do. But it's enabled us to get a lot of things in place. So, the advice from many, many people is when you're starting that homesteading is take it slow and easy. Don't try to take on more than you can. And this is one of the reasons why. I mean, you can't afford to do everything you can imagine can be done.
So we're not doing cows right now. We're not doing our big market garden right now. We're just getting the broilers so that we can have meat. And, we're going to sell our bantams and buy some layer chickens.
Yep.
So we're living within our means and really curbing down the projects that we do.
Most of what we are doing is bringing in the case of animals and other food-related things that we're doing, what we're going to have anyway. It's all needs, and we're not taking on huge projects other than what we have to do to this house, which is, we have to be ready for winter, right? It is going to be cold.
Well, today it was only 70 and it was cold. I shut all the windows. It was weird.
Well, shut the windows, put on the warm clothes.
I did.
It's a long way.
I did. So. Put on slippers.
But that's really where we're keeping ourselves and being careful, like everybody advised. Don't take on more than don't take on too much.
Laura says, have fun with Holler Homestead. We are excited for them to come.
They're going to be next week.
No, 2 weeks. They're going to Farm Alarm. They're probably at Farm Alarm right now. And then they're going to White House on the Hill.
Okay.
And then they're coming to us more over Labor Day.
Okay. It's actually a little over a week.
Yeah, well, it's not next week. So. Okay. And then Renee says, when will you harvest the pigs? We just set the harvesting with the company to do it on the 7th of January. I just can't imagine they're not going to be ready sooner. So we'll see.
At the rate, they're going to slow their growth rate. If they keep up with the rate they are, they're going to be ginormous.
We'll have to. We don't want them to be over 250. So when they're 250, we're going to get them processed.
Which reminds me, we need to weigh them. It's been a week or so since we've weighed them, so it's time.
Oh, Brenda likes that we're not throwing a lot of money at the homestead. You know, I actually stopped watching some of the people that did because I knew I couldn't keep up. I was like, how do they make that like that? How do they get all of those? How come he can get all that? I'm like, nope, this is the shoestring one here.
Yeah, it's far too easy to get in way over your head financially real quick.
And if they're just paying cash, then more power to them.
If they've got the cash to do it, I'm happy for them. Most of us, if we're doing it on cash, we're doing it a little bit at a time, and that's really where we are. Just trying to keep up. And that's the best way to do it. I can't imagine having more happening. You know, the busy factor would be crazy.
Hey, Marianne. She just joined us. Make sure to get some bees. Yes, we have some on the property right now. Our friend who has one of the pigs and has a little garden, he has his bees here. This is Rob, the beekeeper, talking.
Yeah. And
we've had bees before, and we can't wait to get them again.
What we're hoping is next year is not as dry as this year, because these bees have struggled this year. He's hoping that they have enough to get themselves.
I sacrificed my basil for them. I let the basil flower, and they've just been swarming the basil. And I was going to pull it all and dehydrate it, and I just left it for them. Yeah. So there'll be basil honey.
So hopefully he gets enough to harvest, but he's concerned they really haven't been filling the upper supers very much. So.
How do we weigh the pigs? The way you weigh the pigs is you take...
Have we put that on the video?
I thought we did, but maybe not. Maybe not. You weigh right underneath here. I mean, you measure right underneath here.
Their girth.
And you measure from their back of their neck.
Right behind their ears.
To the tip of their tail. To the base of their tail.
Base of their tail.
And you...
There's a calculation.
Multiply this times
you
that.
Square this one.
Okay.
Multiply, and then multiply it times the distance from here to here and divide by
400. And
that's the rule of thumb, and that comes out pretty close. When we did it a little over a week ago, we were coming out with the biggest one.
Oh, that was a long week ago.
It's like 2 weeks ago.
It was like maybe more than that.
Time flies when you're having fun. It was like 88 pounds, so we want to see where we are now.
It was a while ago. Wendy, hello. So glad I finally caught you. Encouragement to those of us starting our homestead.
Yes. Yes.
We have great ideas. Thank you very much. Darcy. Hey, Darcy. She says, hello, you too.
She saw us on the flip side.
She knows that we're talking about budgeting and stuff.
Oh, yes. and being almost minimalist.
No.
Not by a long shot.
Not by a long shot, Darcy. But anyway, yeah. We anyhow, so that's the way we are watching our money, is just by curbing what we're doing. But with getting this food in bulk, it's helping that we're having people go in with us.
Yeah, the price per pound we're able to get on the feed it brings this good quality feed down into the same range as when we're buying the small quantities of the really. So it's very important.
And just so that you know, what we did end up buying, we did not end up buying organic feed because it was cost prohibitive. We could not do it whatsoever. They're
really proud of their organic feed.
Their non-GMO feed is bought from places just like ours. Like everything we grow, we don't spray, we don't use chemicals, we don't do anything like that, but we're not organic. So they buy their other things from places like that care about how they're raising their things, but they're not, and they're non-GMO. The price is like $400 or $500 different for the amount that we were ordering.
Yeah, it was significant enough. And you know, the reality is, whether it's organic or not organic, if you're buying it from somebody else, you don't know for certain that it's going to have a lack of the things that you're concerned about having in it, and it's going to be good quality. Unless you're raising it yourself and you know everything that's happening, you don't know. And so to spend a lot of money and still not be 100% confident doesn't make sense. So there's a potential that we're not as good as we'd like it to be, but it's far better than
it is soy-free, which is a must for us, and they're replacing it with fish meal.
Yeah,
they got a good source for fish meal, so we're really, really appreciative of that. Marianne says that's the same way that they measure the goats in the
makes sense. It really does when you think about body size and composition.
Donnie, hello from Louisiana.
It's a good estimation, good rule of thumb way to do it. So.
Right. We got about 2 minutes left. We keep ours down to a half an hour. For those of you who are new, we do a half an hour. And
on our feed, by the way, we're having it delivered in bulk, so they will come with a truck and auger it into our containers. So we have to have our own containers, which
we're making.
I've got the material, and I'm going to be building them. We need to have them ready by Tuesday morning. So it's going to be a different way for keeping feed than we've had before, but we're going to build them in such a way that animals really have.
We're going to put them right by the window. The screen will come off. His auger will go in, fill the buckets full. The pig feed over here, the chicken feed over here, then we're having lids that will crash down onto them and seal so that bugs don't get into them.
Bugs and other critters.
Bugs and critters. Anyhow. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us. My feed is $25 per 100 pounds. Oh, not organic. And probably soy. Is it soy too? It's not GMO. Because we can get it here. What did we pay for it when we had to get it in an emergency? Less than $10.
Yeah.
Like $8.50 for 50 pounds. But what we notice when we feed our pigs that their poop is horrible.
Well, it's just the concern of what's really in it.
Yeah. So for us, we're choosing non-GMO, and I totally understand when you have to feed your
economics are challenging.
They are.
And that's why we want to plant behind these pigs and get as much good, nutritious, protein-rich kinds of foods growing there so that when they cycle back around, they'll have more to eat. That will help our pig food bill, but also increase the quality of the pig meat.
Okay, so hers does have soy.
Brenda has a medical condition that's inflamed by soy products.
I can't do the soy. So we got just a bunch of things really fast. We're fun. She's new. Mackenzie, thank you. Welcome. Renee says, Jason from Sow the Land says that he is in a co-op where they go together and buy large amounts at a cheaper cost.
That's really what we're working toward, is getting people involved with us who are like-minded. And then we can buy the large. Well, for example, on our chicks, we had 75 chicks ordered, and we got this additional person to participate. And the price per chick dropped how much?
Well, it was $249 for 50. It went to $236 for 75, and then at 100 they went to $215.
So huge drop. So yes, co-ops are a great way to do it, and that's what we're working toward, is to get more and more people involved.
Well, here's somebody we could probably go with. Beth is from Southwest Missouri.
There we go.
Hi, Beth.
Well, plus two, Austin, the guy who comes and helps us, is an engineer, and he's in the process of building a chicken plucker. So for our chickens, we're going to have our own chicken plucker, and there are other people who want to participate. So he's going to get some help on financing it by not only the people who are keeping chickens with us, but there's at least one other person who's spoken up thus far who's interested in also using the chicken plucker. So co-ops are the way to go. You can reduce your costs significantly. So we're excited to get that formed for us here.
Mackenzie, will I go bankrupt starting out? Start out slow. Start out slow. Start out slow.
Yeah. Yes, you can go bankrupt if you let it happen.
Yeah, you can go in debt real fast. So just work so that you don't
go in debt. For
example,
you put it in the newsletter or your blog about what comes before the chicken?
Newsletter tomorrow. Look for it.
Yeah, if you're not subscribed to the newsletter, this isn't a pitch to get.
Oh, yeah, sure, it's a pitch.
Okay, it is a pitch.
Subscribe to our newsletter at Heartiness Approach. Nope. Yeah. Heartinessapproach.com. And you'll enjoy the article that comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, it's about, what comes first, the chicken or and she talks about what comes first. And that's where your money goes.
Yeah.
On those things that happen before you get the chicken. Or if you're like us, you buy the chicken and figure out, what do I need to take care of these things? And out goes the money.
Oh my goodness. Renee says that 1806 Stonehouse got 1,000 subscribers after we talked.
Really?
So that's great.
Cool.
That's great. All right, guys. We're going to say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining us. We've had a great time. And we will see you next week. Same time.
Take care.
Bye-bye. I guess I should close this. Where? Right there.